Breaking news out of the Oklahoma state capitol. Allegations of domestic violence prompt a state official to resign. The flu closes more schools, and Metro voters head to the polls. This is OU Nightly. Good evening and welcome to OU Nightly. I'm Nicole Nielsen.
And I'm Storme Jones. We begin tonight with breaking news out of an embattled state agency. Preston Dorflinger is out as interim director of the Oklahoma State Department of Health, a position he was appointed to by Governor Mary Fallin in October. Dorflinger offered his resignation just a couple hours ago. It comes after the investigative news website The Frontier reported the Tulsa Police Department responded to a case of domestic violence at Dorflinger's home. In the reports obtained by the website, officers stated Dorflinger had choked his wife twice during an argument, but added she declined to press charges at the time. She filed for divorce 7 months later. OU Nightly reached out to Governor Mary Fallin's office to ask if Dorflinger's status as a cabinet member is affected by his resignation. At this time, we have not received a response. Brian Downs is the agency's state and federal policy director. He will take over as interim health commissioner. And disappointment among many at the state capitol today after the Step Up Oklahoma budget plan failed last night.
Some lawmakers are vowing to fight for a better solution, while others say the only thing left to do is slash the budgets of state agencies. OU Nightly's Carson Williams has the details.
When the clock struck midnight, the votes weren't there. The solution to end Oklahoma's severe budget crisis evaporated. For now, teachers, businessmen, farmers, and politicians, both Democratic and Republican, who have joined forces on the Step Up Oklahoma plan that was defeated last night, fear Oklahoma is headed toward financial disaster.
We talked about a state employee pay raise with Republican leadership and with some members of the Step Up Coalition, but they offered no way to pay for that state employee pay raise. We think it's irresponsible to promise state employees a pay raise knowing that the revenue isn't there.
We can't get the compromise which you need when you have that 3/4 requirement, and it just makes it makes governing almost impossible.
Despite the disagreement, this plan still has a pulse, although very slowly. There are backroom negotiations to try to resurrect the plan, but it's going to take some compromise from the Republicans and Democrats, one that the Oklahoma legislative has been unable to reach for over a year now. Reporting from the Capitol, Carson Williams, OU Nightly.
And questions continue today about the first case of measles in Oklahoma in nearly 2 years. Amina Switzer is following the story and joins us now on the Health Beat. Amina?
Nicole, that's right. The warning first came from the state health department just over 24 hours ago. Officials say an international traveler returned to Oklahoma, specifically to Norman, with the measles. The Oklahoma Department of Health has issued a timeline where the infected person spent most of their time in public. We do know the case was confirmed at Norman Pediatrics on Wall Street. Now, the health department said in a press release that the public health officials want to alert anyone who is in certain areas in Norman on February 2nd, 3rd, and 6th. Those places include the doctor's office of Norman Pediatrics, Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza, and the Norman Regional Hospital's Healthplex. The department says they are working with officials to identify anyone who has visited these locations to inform them of their exposure and provide recommendations for their health and safety. This list of exact times the infected person was at these locations will be available on our website, ounightly.com. And in the same press release, the state health department included a list of symptoms of measles and the complications that can arise if someone is infected. Measles is a respiratory disease most likely to infect young children. One of the most noticeable symptoms is a rash that eventually spreads all over the body. Measles is highly contagious, and those who have not received an MMR vaccine are not the only ones in danger.
If there is a group of people which are unprotected, they can increase the risks of even those who are vaccinated.
The state health department recommends that those who think they might have been exposed check their vaccination records and call the Cleveland County Health Department. Storm?
Thanks, Amina. And the flu continues to hit Oklahoma hard. Tonight, we know the Perry School District is canceling all classes Wednesday and Thursday. Perry is located just northeast of Oklahoma City. The district says so many kids and teachers are battling the flu that they think it's best to have everyone stay home. Classes will be back in session on Friday.
And the flu has been consistent, Storm, but what hasn't is the weather. Marisa, what do you have for us?
Yeah, that's exactly right, you guys. The temperatures look a lot like a roller coaster. We have this climb that we're going to have the next couple of days and a sharp decline. I have all the details on exactly what's going to happen coming up later. But for now, let's take a look at the radar outside. There's a little bit of sprinkly showers going on in southeastern Oklahoma that is giving us a little bit of rain accumulation, but not too much. But we do have more rain in the forecast coming up later this week. I will have all the details coming up later in the show.
All right, thank you. And the weather is cooperating for Election Day today. Voting polls are open until 7 tonight in Oklahoma City's mayoral race. There are 3 candidates running for mayor, including a University of Oklahoma student, Taylor Neighbors. Also running Senator David Holt and former Auditor Randall Smith. All it takes is a majority vote for one of the 3 candidates to get elected. The winner will take over early April.
And voters in Norman are also heading to the polls today. City council positions in wards 2, 4, 6, and 8 will be decided in races across the city. If a candidate fails to reach a majority, there will be a runoff election held on April 3rd. The polls are open until 7 o'clock tonight. And Lauren Linville is in the news center with details on today's Senate intelligence hearing in Washington. Lauren?
Yes, Nicole, the White House's Rob Porter scandal continued today as FBI Director Christopher Wray testified before the Intelligence Committee, contradicting the White House's timeline.
The FBI submitted a partial report on the investigation in question in March, and then a completed background investigation in late July. That is soon thereafter, we received requests for follow-up inquiry, and we did the follow-up and provided that information in November.
The White House says the investigation on their side was ongoing when Porter resigned last week on domestic violence allegations, but the Bureau says it closed their investigation in January, weeks before the scandal broke. In the same hearing today, Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates said the United States is under attack. He says cybersecurity threats from Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea pose one of the greatest dangers to U.S. security.
There should be no doubt that Russia perceived that its past efforts as successful and views the 2018 U.S. midterm elections as a potential target for Russian influence operations.
Directors of their respected intelligence organizations have stated that they have plans in place to combat the cybersecurity threats, but have not been specifically directed by President Trump. Israeli police are recommending the indictment of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on corruption charges, the second time since 1997. Police say he received over $100,000 in gifts, including champagne and expensive cigars from Hollywood mogul Arnon Milchan, along with offering special treatment to the publisher of a major Israeli newspaper in exchange for pro-Netanyahu coverage. Netanyahu says the recommendations will end with nothing and denies all allegations against him, saying he will remain in office and run for re-election. And Nicole and Storme, Russian investigators say a plane crash near Moscow Sunday that killed 71 people may have been caused by pilot error.
Thank you, Lauren.
And still to come on OU Nightly, new wheels arrive in downtown Oklahoma City.
Plus, tomorrow is bound to fill some hearts and empty some wallets. Stay with us.
And welcome back. The first of 7 streetcars has made its way to downtown Oklahoma City. The pink car was manufactured in Brooksville, Pennsylvania. A new car will be delivered every 3 weeks until the 7th and final car arrives this summer. The city of Oklahoma City says testing and driver training will have to be completed before the streetcars open for public inspection. Once complete, the streetcar network will connect Midtown, Automobile Alley, Bricktown, and the business district. And Amazon had bad news for some of its employees today. Will Cornelius joins us with Money Matters. Will?
That's right, Storme. Amazon will lay off hundreds of employees in the coming days. The online retail giant says most of the employees being laid off will come from its Seattle headquarters, though it has not confirmed how many. The layoffs come as the company searches for a city to build its second headquarters in. And YouTube is taking a firm stance against one of its biggest creators, Logan Paul. The video sharing company suspended all ads from Paul's videos and says they are broadly damaging to the broader creator community. These changes come after Paul posted a video last month of a body hanging from a tree and, most recently, of himself tasering dead rats. Well, happiness isn't free at the happiest place on earth. Both Disneyland and Disney World are raising their ticket prices. The most expensive tickets are at Disney World's Magic Kingdom, costing $129. Disney fans looking for the cheapest tickets will find them for $97 at Disneyland in California. And Cupid's arrow is hitting people in the hearts as well as their wallets this Valentine's Day. The National Retail Federation says Americans will spend $19.6 billion on their sweethearts this year. Now that's up $1.4 billion from last year. It's estimated jewelry sales will be more than $4 billion, flowers at $2 billion, and candy at $1.8 billion. Now, Storme and Nicole, I don't know about you all, but I'm pretty happy that I'm going to be single. My wallet's happy. Gonna have a nice candlelit steak dinner by myself. I think it's gonna be a fun night.
Yeah, you're definitely saving some money.
All right, yeah, chocolate.
Chocolate, always.
Thanks, Will. Still ahead on OU Nightly, Mardi Gras fills New Orleans.
Plus, Marisa has more on our weather.
That's right, we have some rain coming up later in the week, and I'll give you all the details coming up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Live look outside with our Sooner Skycam network. We're looking at Norman and OKC. It's kind of gloomy outside right now everywhere, and that trend is going to continue a little bit for the next couple of days. Tonight, those clouds are going to stick around for the evening, and by midnight tonight, it might be completely overcast with 43 degrees, but we are staying out of those freezing temperatures, so tomorrow when you wake up, there'll be no frost on your windshield, so that's nice. We have a 43-degree low here in Norman and 40s throughout the state, a little bit warmer than average. Usually we're around 32 for this time of year, so a little bit warmer than we're used to. And as you're walking out the door tomorrow, we are going to have a nice treat, heating all the way up to 68 degrees. Those clouds will linger a little bit, so the sun won't be too hot, and it'll be a nice, comfortable 68 degrees tomorrow on your Valentine's Day. And this is going to continue throughout most of the state, much more warmer than we normally have this time of year. Normally we are at 54 degrees and we are going to be at 67 here in Norman. And if you are going out tomorrow night, here is your date night forecast. 62 degrees at 5 p.m. and it's not going to cool down too much. So if you're out and about tomorrow night, walking around downtown Norman or Oklahoma City, it's going to be pretty comfortable getting down to only 59 degrees by 9 p.m. and those clouds won't be too much. The wind will start to pick up from 10 to 15 to 15 to 20. So watch your hair, ladies. You don't want to have a bad hair day on your Valentine's Day date night. But otherwise, it's going to be a pretty beautiful night tomorrow night in Oklahoma. For the rest of this week, we do have some action going on. This rain is coming in late tonight into tomorrow morning. And as the week goes on, we're going to have a cold front come through and bring some rain chances for us Thursday evening into the night. This is going to bring rain to most of the body of Oklahoma, which is much needed. So let's welcome this rain as it comes in. Our 7-day, we have Valentine's Day. It's going to be beautiful. Thursday, those warm temperatures are going to make that cold front very drastic on Friday as that rain comes in with 30% chance of rain on Friday. So let's enjoy those warm temperatures while they last. We do have some more rain chances creeping in for us next Tuesday, but we will keep you more up to date on that as it grows closer to us, but really the main chance for rain is for Friday. That cold front's going to come in, it's going to drop those temperatures down to 44 on Friday, so we're going to have about a 30-degree temperature change and even those rain chances, but not until later in the evening, so maybe that will be affecting your evening commute, but it shouldn't be too bad. We do really need some rain.
But for tomorrow, Valentine's Day, looking good.
It is going to be beautiful tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's really, really great. I'm glad that we're going to have some good weather.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much.
And the Thunder are in for some action in their final home game before the All-Star break. Josh Callaway is here with a preview.
That's right. Paul George and the boys are hoping for some wins before the break. And the Sooner basketball team is just desperate to end their road struggles in Lubbock tonight. Sports is next. Welcome back. Well, when you've lost 6 of your last 8, a road game against a top 10 team isn't exactly what the doctor ordered. That's exactly what Trae Young and the Sooners are getting. OU is in Lubbock tonight for a matchup against number 7 Texas Tech. The Sooners did beat the Red Raiders in Norman back on January 9th, but it's clear that this team is much different away from the Lloyd Noble Center, having not won a road game since December 30th. more on how the Sooners can try to end this kid with an upset win, we go to Sam Brown at the LNC. Sam?
Yeah, Josh, you couldn't have said it any better yourself. The Sooners just can't seem to find any rhythm on the road. While they've only lost one game on the season here at Lloyd Noble, they're 5-7 when traveling away from home. Now you're probably wondering how much worse they are on the road, but don't rack your brain. I went ahead and did the math for you. Check out these numbers. At home, the Sooners average a whopping 95.6 points per game, but on the road, that number drops to 82.1. Their field goal percentage at home is 52% as opposed to 43.7% on the road. But the crazy one, 45.2% from deep at home, but on the road, OU shoots just over 31%. Now, Trae Young has been phenomenal all year, but it's clear this team is just looking for some kind of momentum, and that's not an easy thing to do in the Big 12.
Well, it's that time of year in the Big 12 where everyone feels pretty much the same. You know, you're going to have stretches that are challenging. No, just challenge them to play with confidence and stay aggressive and, you know, keep attacking and, you know, get extra shots up and do whatever you can to, you know, pick up that production.
A lot of open shots, but guys like Christian James and Brady Manick, a few things to look out for tonight. Trae Young is creating a lot of open shots, but guys like Christian James and Brady Manick have to create and make those shots as well. And also the Sooners swarmed the Red Raiders on defense when they met here in Norman, so it'll be interesting to see whether Lon Kruger sticks to that game plan or not. That's it from here. Josh, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. While the basketball team is struggling, the softball team is off to a hot start. The two-time defending national champions got their season started on a high note as they swept the weekend in Phoenix at the GCU kickoff tournament, picking up 5 wins in just 3 days. Definitely not a bad way to start the year. And to the NBA, as the Thunder are back in Chesapeake Energy Arena tonight for a matchup against LeBron James and the Cavaliers. OKC has been struggling as of late, winning just 2 of their last 7. No word yet on if Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony will play, as they have both been battling ankle injuries that have sidelined them the last 2 games. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers are coming off a blowout win over the Celtics in their first game after their big roster overhaul at the trade deadline. And today is a truly beautiful day as pitchers and catchers are reporting to camp. Many major league teams will now begin their spring workouts in preparation for spring training games, which will begin at the end of the month and go throughout the month of March, with the official opening day of the season coming on March 29th. And lastly, an American snowboarder made history last night as 17-year-old Chloe Kim became the youngest female medalist in Olympic snowboarding history with her gold on the halfpipe. Kim posted a nearly perfect score of 98.25, almost 9 full points ahead of the next closest competitor. Guys, this girl's winning gold medals at 17, and I was doing nothing productive at all at 17.
There's another 17-year-old earlier in the week, wasn't there? The second 17-year-old.
Yeah, it's crazy how many young. Yeah, there's a male snowboarder who's 17 as well, winning gold medals. So
it takes a lot of dedication.
They're in high school. Sure. They're winning gold medals.
Yeah, 98.25. Pretty impressive.
0.25. Yeah, out of 100, if that's not clear.
Thanks, Josh.
No kidding. Thank you, Josh. Still to come on OU Nightly, Bourbon Street enjoys their Mardi Gras parades.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to strawberry fields. Nothing is real, and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields.
I'm Cal Day at the update desk. A prior teacher has resigned following accusations of rape against one of her foster children. An arrest affidavit alleges Stephanie Cowan admitted to having sexual contact with a 15-year-old foster child on 4 separate occasions. A spokesperson for the Department of Human Services says all of the foster children have since been removed and placed in a safe home. Cowan is scheduled to return to court in March. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Cal. And it's time to let the good times roll in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. The city is expecting nearly 1.5 million spectators to enjoy Bourbon Street's atmosphere. That's today alone. Social clubs put on parties and parades across New Orleans, complete with beads, beignets, and booze. Today is also known as Fat Tuesday and marks the end of carnival season, leading into the start of Lent on Ash Wednesday tomorrow.
Wow, so much fun down in New Orleans. Wish I could be there, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, here in Norman, it's pretty calm.
Yeah, nobody's really doing anything.
Nobody's really partying too much with midterms right around the corner.
Yeah, also true.
But we're going to have good weather tomorrow for going downtown Oklahoma City, maybe, downtown Norman.
Yes, enjoying our Valentine's Day, hopefully. But for today, we have a little bit of a treat. It's not exactly a weather fact, it's more of a weather feature.
Okay.
It's taken a picture by our very own Caroline Brown. She took it this morning. It's actually a sunrise photo, so usually college kids aren't really up early enough to take pictures of the sunrise, so I thought it'd be great to feature her because, I mean, Norman is beautiful in the morning.
And I guess nobody's awake to see it.
No one on campus is up
I'm
to
always
see
a
it.
fan of tweeting. The sun sets usually is the one I catch.
Yeah,
a little
that's
early.
Very true.
But anyway. All right, thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.